Hey guys, welcome back to ADP Art Creations. Today we are going to talk about when young players have injuries in the NCAA and what programs do they have to help them out. So the first program we're going to talk about is MHFA, which is the Mental Health First Aid. And what a difference does it make? Recognizing mental health challenges. Participants will learn to identify warning signs and understand common struggles among student athletes. MHFA teaches a step-by-step approach to help athletes in distress, ensuring that they get the appropriate support at the right time, breaking the stigma. By fostering open conversation, the program helps normalize mental health discussions in athletes. Connecting to resources, participants will gain knowledge of available mental health services and how to guide athletes towards professional help when needed. Building long-term resilience, teams will benefit from the culture that prioritizes mental health, wellness, reducing burnout, and promoting overall well-being. So the reason why I have Juju Watkins' picture up here because she just endured a major injury, and I wanted to talk about how it could impact her mental health with a season injury like this one, and what they have in place. Now, this is what the NCAA has in place for young athletes and helping them to cope with everything. Um, there are also other programs that they have that the NCAA have, but also there are programs that the school has for itself. And let me let's talk about some of those programs that South Carolina has. So the resources that South Carolina has as well are they have available sports psychologists, which the psychologists go through the Department of Behavior and Science, and they support student athletes. They also have a counseling service. USC offers counseling service that provides confidential support for student athletes struggling with various mental health. They also have an ICU program. This 6-week education program is designed for coaches and athlete mentors, focusing on identifying warning signs of suicide, implementing best practices for intervention, increasing communication to help athletes. They also have AFH, which was a program established in 2021, and it empowers athletes of all levels, backgrounds to work together to reduce the stigma of mental health in and out of sports. They also have the U.S. Center for Mental Health in Sports. This nonprofit organization develops sports environments that allow for mental wellness by providing mental health training and resources, opening pathways to access additional mental health support services, and committing to the advancement of mental health and support research. Now, all this you'll find on USC website concerning mental health. Hey, Patricia. Also, they have the suicide prevention playbook. It's created for prevention of suicide. It focuses on education and communication. So, like, I know we love our athletes. I know we love the skill sets they have and stuff like that. But we also got to know the mind of the players, like their mental health. This is a major injury for her. And as you can see, the first thing they do, flashing pictures that cannot be erased, that she's going to have to see as she's coping with her mental health. And she's young. So, of course, she's still going to be on that social media, right? But, I think that mental health is important. I think her surroundings right now is important. Yes, she probably got the best doctors in the world, but the best doctors in the world, when them lights are out and nobody's in there with her, I'm quite sure her mind is rethinking her injury. Will I be able to? Juju Watkins. And Juju Watkins, we got Juju Watkins, we got Flau'jae, but mainly I was talking about Juju, but it's other athletes, just young athletes in general, Patricia, who suffer injuries at a young age and how they can cope with it. But I just wanted to find out the mental health behind it. Like, what do they have to help these young players, for as the school and the NCAA as well. So the NCAA has the MHFA, and then USC has their programs. They got different programs where they can also get help too. Not forced, but I think I do believe one with the NCAA is mandatory that they go through like a screening or something like that with the athletes per year, like once a year, to help them, cope with any type of, it could, mostly I'm talking about the injury, but it could be a mind thing. It could be, anything that they're going through. And, with her and, Flau'jae, even Angel had her injuries in college. And, even the rookies for their first year, what they experienced, like Camilla said, she never had no injury like that, and it takes a toll on their mind. That's just like when, not using this, like, I know this is a little crazy, but like when some have children and you got to cope with getting your body back together, so you're a little nervous. It's like you got to start to walk again, kind of get familiar back with the atmosphere. And so I know that that's what Juju is going to have to go through. She's going to have to go through relearning how to walk and deal with everything that she's going to have to be dealing with. And it's not an easy process. And it starts with your mental. If you can get your mental together, the quicker your recovery will be, I believe, because it's, you're so nervous and scared. You don't want to try stuff, but you still could be a fighter and still need help for its mental health. And these kids who love sports, they love their sport. Some don't make it. Some, that's all they got. That's that, they go to school for just that, or, depending on what environment they live in or whatever the case may be, they may not have that guidance. They may not have where, they'll be able to, deal with their mental health and get the help that they need. Because some places and some cultures believe in putting mental health and sliding it on the rug. Oh, you good. You can work it out. It'll work out for itself. Oh, keep going. Some parents may not have the parents like Juju have, where, hey, we're gonna get you through this. We're gonna be by your side. We're gonna be there for you. Here go your resources. Everybody needs at least one person that they can confide in, that they could talk to, that they can trust besides their family. Because sometimes, how family is, oh, she just going through something. She'll be okay. But, it's somebody you could talk to, be like, hey, I understand you. Guess what? I've been there. But I think I like the resources they have for the athletes. I'm hoping to see more of it. I'm hoping to see more protection for the young players. Like, I know they can't protect the media from taking the pictures and stuff like that and stuff, but I need them to get on the bullies, bullying these young athletes. I need them to like step in for them. I need them to say, hey, we apologize for flashing this, but we apologize for making these comments. Send her something, like, don't beat her up when she's going through the process of healing from a major injury. You can tell it hit her hard. So, I think through the process, what we could do for these young players is keep uplifting them, keep giving suggestions, keep giving them advice, keep posting stuff they may not be aware of. They may know they haven't, they may not, or suggestions of, like, people they could talk to far as their mental, because it's gonna take a lot when you experience like an injury like this or something traumatic. Oh gosh, it's gonna take a minute. It's not gonna be something overnight. She definitely is gonna have the right people in her corner to help, help and continue to guide her. Patricia, you got any questions? She said, oh, she said it's good. Okay, so yeah, so that's what I want to talk about with Juju and just with athletes in general, with the rookies too, like with Angel, like her first injury in the WNBA, Camilla's injury in the I know, Patricia. That's why I'm praying for her, and I'm praying that she got the right people in her corner. Like, I know she got her parents and stuff like that, but I know it's somebody that I know it's somebody she could really confide in, because that was just like Camilla. Camilla was like, you could tell about Camilla. That's why I was like, yeah, people say this about her game, but nobody's talking about her mental health. Like, okay, yes, we love our players. Yes, we know they can do what they can do and they can do better. But coming off an injury and you be nervous, you be like, you're nervous. It's like you're starting over again, like you're starting to walk and crawl all over again, with your injuries. It's not easy. Oh, she's playing a little better. Some players are not going to play the way you play after they deal with an injury, but it's all in the mind. Like, for Camilla, she had Angel, she had Teaspoon, Camilla had her family, and she had Teaspoon, Angel, and even Kennedy. Hey, because I believe Kennedy and Angel and Teaspoon, but I know Teaspoon for a fact. I see her still pouring into them every time they do something. She posting something, right? Especially if you never experienced it before. That's why I'm like concerned for her mental. Everybody posting this, so posting that. Of course, look, she's gonna be great. There's no doubt about it. She this happened, but she's still gonna come out on top. But nobody is talking about her mental health. What can we do to help her and guide her through her mental health of this being a first-time injury, of her never experiencing this before? Like, what can we do as fans? What can we do on social media outlets? Like, what can we do to help her? Like we have a lot of power and strength. Like, we be in these chats, we be, doing our podcast or whatever, but we can make a difference. We can make a statement. Like, we got all this social media. Like, these young girls, they need our help. Like, from the false narratives, like they were already aiming at her for no reason already. She's young. She's beginning. She got the skills. She loved the sport. So they were already aiming at her, not for the skills that she had. Oh, man, Patricia, you own it tonight, girl. Hopefully she don't feel guilty for USC losing, and she not. Oh, Patricia, you nailing it, girl. She is. She will. She will. She will. She will. She will for the moment. That's what I'm saying. Like, she is going to have the right people in place to help her, because she is going to feel like that. Like, because they're going to win. I believe it would have been USC against South Carolina. That's my take. If she hadn't got injured, but she felt that she was hurt. She was hurt with her physical, and I know she hurt in her mental. So she definitely is gonna need some cheering up. I seen I had posted something in our little group chat where the little girls, they did something for her, even though we know it's not her fault, and people may be telling her it's not her fault, but we don't know how she. Right, Patricia. That's what I'm saying. Like, listen, let me tell you a little snippet, right, about me. So, okay, so 2018, I had twins, right? So I lost one of my twins after 8 days. He went to heaven, right? And so you have people coming at you, and trust me, I know my God. You know what I'm saying? But you got people saying, "Oh, girl, you'll be all right. You got to worry about your other kids." Do you think God don't know I got those other kids? Do you think God don't know when them lights are out and nobody's watching what I'm going through? Do you have, you don't have no idea when them lights are out, how a person feels unless they express it to you. But right then and there, when you're in a state of shock, it's like you're numb. Like you know it happened, but you can't believe it happened. So she's in her numb season. She hasn't even begun to heal yet. No band-aid is on that wound yet. Like she is in her numb season right now, in the beginning of her injury. And I'm quite sure she probably do, Patricia. She probably blame herself for that. And okay, so my twin was 8 days. Caden was 8 days when he passed. And Kate, so it's Caden and Kaysen. So Kaysen is the one that survived. Kaysen is my youngest twin. He was 3 pounds, right? And so what happened was they wanted me to go in at 36 weeks because they wanted to get Kaysen out. And but Caden was fine. And then it was like, he was in my arms, and it was like, seemed like he had like a little heart attack, and girl, it was something. And so Kaysen was the one that was in the NICU. Kaysen is now, he's 7 years old now. He has autism, but he has autism, but he doesn't, like, how can you say, he's doing really good. Like, he doesn't like fight me. He doesn't do none of that kind of stuff. He stems sometimes, but he's spoiled too, but he understands very well. And so I'm homeschooling him. He does go to OT and speech and everything like that. I take him, during the week, twice a week. Sometimes it's 3 times a week. And I had to take a pay. First, I was teaching pre-K for 12 and a half years. Then I had to take a pay cut and go do retail so that I could get Kaysen back to his appointments and all that kind of stuff, whatever. And then that job, they shut down or whatever. So I wound up, I'm helping him at home. So I'm looking for something to work from home when he go to sleep or whatever. But I have my daughter. My daughter is 23. She's married. She has a husband. I have a grandbaby, and my son is 17. My oldest son is 17. And so, like, they would help me, when I was doing the retail. But I'm the type of person, like, I don't believe my kids raising my kids. I take full responsibility, And so they helped me enough. So after the retail closed, I've been here homeschooling him and making sure he get to his appointments. But sister girl got to get a job when he go to sleep now, like something online. So, I'm working on it and stuff. So it'll work out all in God's timing. But Patricia, I had to get here first. Like, I had to get to the point where I had to put faith over fear. Hey, Miss D. I had to put faith over fear. So, I'm falling in love with the WNBA because Angel Reese and all them, and stuff like that. So KSAP and the community has really they really helped me. This is the first year, Patricia, where I was able to tell that story. And Miss D know about it. She couldn't even watch it all the way through, but I was able to tell the story. And I didn't break down by telling the story. And it's 7 years, but when a parent lose a child or people lose their loved ones, that's a lifetime of grief. But when you got a relationship, let's put the relationship on this side and scoot that religion on the other side. I have a relationship, with God. That's where I'm at. That's why I can't judge man. I'm just trying to, encourage everybody. That's why you see me in the chat. I always encouraging and stuff like that. That's what I do. Nurturing, encouraging and stuff like that. But I guess, for me, I'm so passionate with with people and their mental health and how they feel, because I had to experience. Yes, Miss D, he do. And so, I had to experience stuff for myself. Guys, if I tell you all these testimonies, you'd be like, girl, you still here. Let me tell you, I taught pre-K for 12 and a half years, right? And I was protecting those kids and those teachers. You couldn't come in there, you couldn't say a child was bad to me. You couldn't talk about that child. None of that. Not with me. And when the teachers would come to me and they was like, you know what, you just always listen. You just listen, because sometimes that's all people need. They don't need you saying, well, girl, I did this when I went through. No, it's not about you. It's their season. They're going through stuff. Sometimes all people want you to do is listen. So I had all those teachers back. It was only one. She didn't care too much for me, but she respected me, and it's all good. You know what I'm saying? So I'm protecting these teachers with the bosses, everything. I could have lost my job. You know how you go to work, you can work all day. They'd be like, oh, that's the end of your day, but I know I got God's favor, and I'm supposed to look out for his people and stuff like that. So I didn't play, with those teachers. I didn't play with those students, let alone my own children. You know what I'm saying? If I got children, I want them teachers to treat my kids right, So I got to go in there, and I was teaching, the kids or whatever. And these are it's 24 kids per year you're teaching over and over again. But it's not just that. Everybody in the building knew. They used to call me Miss Claus, because I never forgot a birthday. I never forgot Christmas. But I think with dealing with mental health and with dealing with trauma, it helped me to really not take nothing from people, and take up for people. So I was like, oh, I made a promise to my little Kaden Bear, when I went back into pre-K, I was like, hey, I'm not missing no birthdays. They already spoiled. They will always give me the ones that, didn't know how to express their words. They were acting up a little bit. They will always give me those babies, right? And the parents was so shocked. And I'm telling you, this in the bougie area, guys. I'm sorry. It is what it is. So, but you love them kids, and the parents that be at work all day, and them kids, all they do is go home and eat and sleep. And that's it. That's all they do when the parents pick them up. Them parents going to love you. You love their kids, they're going to love you back. You know what I'm saying? So I just enjoyed it. It was a blessing, but 12 and a half years, I had to retire, guys. I had to go. And plus COVID had hit, and I wanted to be able to come home to my own kids. And so it got to the point where it was money over people. And I was like, not me. But it was a good experience. I had everything was good when I left, and everything like that. But, mental health is very important. It's nobody on this earth, not one person, that has not experienced mental health. Yeah, I have this discernment, so I love people. I love God's people. And I think that comes from everything that, I went through and stuff like that. So I'm always trying to, I'm a cheerful giver. If you ever know somebody that's a cheerful giver, oh, they get hit. Let me tell you, I got hit okay, I was getting ready to launch my art on YouTube, right? The day before I get ready to launch my stuff on YouTube. Now, mind you, I'm always blessing everybody. I put others before myself, because I know God got my back. We ain't gonna be without. We may not have everything we want, but we're not gonna be without, right? So the day before I get ready to put my stuff on YouTube, to sell, I lose my wallet, right? Kind of probably 4 or 5 days later, the lady reached out to me on Facebook through my cousin or whatever. Do you know that all my cards were in there, and my $500 that I had took out to pay a bill was all in there? And guess what, Patricia and Miss D? This was the same lady that was in the NICU when I had the twins, and Kason was in the NICU. The same nurse. Can you believe? Now that's favor, right? So then turn around. What was it? Last Monday before the show, I had an event where we were able to have booths at this event, and only 10 people could do it, right? This was an event. I was the only one selling my art pouches and stuff like that there. You had different people there, but it only could be a certain amount. and I didn't know who was speaking. I had no idea. Guys, check out Dr. Sherry Blake. She is on Instagram. I just have her Instagram, but she is the doctor behind the scenes for the Braxton's, Tony Braxton's show, and for Housewives of Atlanta and some other shows. So she is the one that helps them deal with their mental health. And it was a mother and daughter event. So she was explaining to the mothers and stuff like that, how social media is, and this is not their actual life. This is what they have to do, to make their money and stuff like that. But she was phenomenal. I'm like, she was really good. You know how some speakers you be about to fall asleep? She wasn't one of those. And so I think my love for people, like I really focus on their mental, because like I love me some Angel Reese, I love me some Camilla Kennedy and Michaela, or whatever. So my thing is, when I come up here, I'm gonna be breaking down like the players, their mental health, also their skills and stuff like that. But we need to know the mind behind the players as well, so we can understand them when they act out. We be like, okay, we can relate, we can understand, what they're going through. And also a lot of the OGs like Teaspoon, Don, and Cheryl Swoops, like, their stories of being in the WNBA and how they overcame so much. And I know Teaspoon dealt with, mental too. I can tell by, like, she always posting positive stuff, and spiritual stuff and stuff like that. But I know it also took a toll on her mental too. Because you know how the world do. The world, it's like, sometimes you get in positions and they expect you to just do 100% or to do like they want you to do. But we don't know our purpose. We don't know our calling for that time frame of being able to do that. And it takes a lot. Like even with teaching pre-K, all them females in there, woo-wee. That is something in itself when you have all us together. You got all these personalities and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, we was able to, come together, talk about it. Hey, I'm the type of person where you can't talk about somebody and then expect me not to say nothing and then it go around. No, we're going to clear this up. We're going to get everybody together. You say what you have to say in front of the person. And if, I have something to tell you, then I'm going to let you know before everybody else know. Just like with my bosses, they was like, my boss used to tell me, she used to say when I was teaching pre-K, she said, if Miss Alicia, she was like, if Miss Alicia want to meet with me, I used to have meetings with my own bosses. Like, okay. And I was like, if they say something that bothered me, I was like, the way you said that was not right. Just tell them how I felt. And let me tell you, tell a person one time, that's respect right there. It ain't no fear. Look, I'm going to work for you, but you're going to respect me the way I respect you. I'm not going to disrespect you, but you're going to respect me. And even with that, that's mental. Going back into a job after losing my blessing, like that in itself is dealing with mental too, But sports, I see it. Like I love football too, right? I'm a Redskins fan, but Commanders, I guess we got to say that. But I watched the athletes where a lot of them were committing suicide when they lost their careers young. First getting in there, committed suicide, losing their careers, or just some of everything. Or I think one player, I don't know what team he was on, where he unalived himself and the girlfriend or whatever. Like they need more. Like, I know they got the programs, but they need more in place. Like, let's not just talk about it, let's be about it. You ain't got to force them to do anything. All they do is, once you start listening to them and they found out you just listening instead of always criticizing them, they will come around more. I get calls. My cousin them in DC, she called me. She had a situation with one of our family members, and the family member didn't want to talk to none of them. And so I get on the phone, guys. Woo, that was something right there. So I get on the phone with her. I think Brittany's like 23, 24, right? So I get on the phone with her and I'm like, okay, I start off slow. How are you? quiet. I said, ooh, this gonna be a little workout right here, right? So wind up. You start by talking to how's your day, how are you feeling, stuff like that to get them to talk, because if you can find ways to get them to talk, especially with athletes, players, whatever, dealing with mental health, you got it. And then you just take ease with it. Don't force it. Don't don't say what you think. Just listen. What would you like to change if you didn't have this injury? If you didn't go down, do you think y'all would have made it to the championship? Do you believe it's your time to make it to the championship? How do you feel about it? How do you feel? I hope someone is asking Juju, how does she feel? Instead of, oh, we're gonna fix this right away. We're gonna get the doctors in there. They're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. Okay, why you in there? I'm gonna need some help. I'm gonna need some help with my mental too. At the same time, where everybody else coming here with all these suggestions, I need someone in here that I can talk to and stuff like that. Just like Angel Reese had this one of her episodes. She had Pretty V up there. And Pretty V does Wilding Out with Nick Cannon or whatever, and she talks about her testimony of how she got up there and how she, her mom is a preacher, different, just different aspects. So she was really stressing the thing about Angel and Flau'jae, because I know, they talk in the industry, and so she probably knows some things, because she really stressed on how she loved Flau'jae and how she loved Angel, and just wanted them to work together. But she also said Pretty V and Coco Jones. Angel was like, how do you deal with everything? Being, because Coco Jones got I think her father used to play for the NFL or something like that. So, and then her mom did some other things too. So she deals with a lot with being, growing up in the celebrity spotlight and stuff like that. And she kept talking about her therapist. Like her therapist was like her Christmas gift. And Angel kept saying, how did you get through this? My therapist. Okay. And she was like, when the show over, girl, we'll talk about it, because she's like, you're going to need one. She's like, you're gonna need somebody you can talk to. She said that's what started to help me, through everything that I was going through. Pretty V get up there, she said the same thing. You gotta have that when you're a celebrity, when you're dealing with sports. Because I know Angel's second injury, I know, like, the first one took a toll, the second one took a toll, but you still could be a fighter and still deal with mental health. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Miss D, it can. And but what's so sad? Like I was telling Patricia, they promote more the negative of these women, these young women, than they do promoting how to help them, how to help them, how to guide them through the trials and tribulations, what we can do together. Right, the criticism and injuries and pressure. Yes. Yes. Miss D, they and look, Miss D, they ain't waste no time with Juju. They ain't waste no time. Like, I know they don't waste no time with Angel. They ain't waste no time with Camilla. They ain't waste no time. The first thing it's like criticism and negative over everything else. Like, not even thinking about these women's state of minds and all that kind of stuff. I know that Cheryl Swoops, she was speaking at the Chicago panel for mental health before they started the season. She was speaking about mental health and stuff too, because all of them deal with it. Let me tell you, Patricia, Miss D, when I did research on mental health in the WNBA, you would be surprised. The list kept getting longer and longer and longer. Now, I am going to do a live on Shamika Holdsclaw, because her testimony is, and what she went through, man, guys, I have to tell it, right? And but I'm telling you, the list was just long. You had Kelsey Plum. Kelsey Plum deal with mental health. Last year, she came out with a shoe. With Under Armour, if I'm not mistaken, to represent mental health. You got Matt Buckets. Matt Buckets deal with mental health. You got Diana Taurasi. You got Christy Size had to deal with one of her college players committed suicide. You know what I'm saying? Like you have where they did like this little interview with the players before they start the season, and you had Caitlin Clark up there, you had Aaliyah Boston up there. You have all these women that deal with mental health. So it's just, and the list just kept getting longer and longer and longer. And it's good that they're able to come out and say a little bit of what they're dealing with and everything. But I know it could be hard when they're going through all this with just being an athlete, period. But we as fans, we as the social media, the YouTube streets, we got to do better about encouraging these young ladies, even the young guys or whatever, athletes or whatever. We got to do better on encouraging them when it comes to their mental health, and especially when it comes to injuries, because not everybody has somebody in their corner, and not everybody has somebody to talk to. And one word or one thing you say can save somebody's life, just one kind thing, especially when they're going through something like this. So I listed all the stuff up there, Ms. D, about the MHFA, and also I had some other programs that USC has available too. But I know she, since the season ended, they're taking a break. Hopefully, wherever she's going to get rehab and everything, that they have all that in place. But maybe it's somebody that she's already talking to that could be there by her side. I know that she's getting a lot of encouragement on social media as well, besides the negative. And I just wanted to I'm going to continue to keep her in prayer. I'm going to continue to uplift her with, different types of artwork, and just have their back, be the voices when they can't be the voices themselves, that's how I am with my little case. And I'm his voice. So, I'm hoping that this new season, even with the new rookies, with the WNBA, I hope they have stuff set up, not just some advertise or something we just gonna make a statement on, that they really have something set up for the new rookies. And we already know they have some set up for the players already, but some for these rookies coming in just in case anything can happen, if they experience an injury, or because you never know how these injuries are going to go. Let's see, I don't care, but yeah. So thank you guys for coming on my live tonight. Thank you for listening, Ms. D and Patricia. If you like to support the channel, my Cash App and Venmo is at the bottom. I will be doing I am going to do a sip and paint for YouTube. I'll let you guys know. But I'm going to start on Tuesday, starting probably next week or the week after on Tuesday. Tuesday nights, I'm going to be doing live tutorials, but I'll be drawing and stuff like that. And we could just, we'll talk about different subjects, like whatever's on your mind, and stuff like that. I know we got the Final Four this weekend, see what's going to go down with that, and then the championship game. So we'll have some topics to talk about, and then we getting ready. We close to our season, our WNBA season. Let's go, Sky. So we'll be touching on that. I'll be covering Chicago Sky information. I'll be covering Camilla and Angel. I also want to do more on Camilla too, because Camilla and Angel are twin towers and they balance each other out. And I want them to be able to continue to succeed and just encourage them, because they were on them last year. They were really on Angel more, as we see, but it also was on Camilla too. And but I believe that this year's is a different season, and they're gonna do great. So thank you guys. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you, Miss D, for coming on my live tonight. And I wish you guys to have a great week. And I'll be back. I think my next live is going to be on Teresa Witherspoon and the impact that she had in the WNBA, and her role as a coach in Unrivaled and in the WNBA, and just keep lifting everybody up. Just keep lifting these coaches up, even Dawn. Guys, oh, Miss D and Patricia, Dawn has a book out. If you like Dawn Stanley, Staley, I hope I'm saying her name right, but I just say Dawn. So she has a book coming out in May. It's called Uncommon Favor. I will be doing a book review live too on that book. So guys, I just want you to have a good night, and I will see you again another night. I'm going to try to be posting my streams and stuff. I'll begin with KSAP to set up my overlay for Tuesday nights and stuff like that. Okay, thank you guys, and stay blessed.